All right, here we're walking into our Sol Rover. I guess it's by Horizon here. This is a pretty cool travel trailer and something I would consider honestly for my family of four. There's a dinette that turns into a bed up here. There's a massive window. It's currently covered by like a padded cover. Some cool cabinet lighting. This is where the microwave was, and I'll show you why that's out. Massive bathroom. Full step-in bathroom, toilet that goes to a black tank. Take a shower, vent and light in here. Tons of room. Wash your dog in here. Big bed in the back, main bed. Upper cabinet space. Kitchen area for 2-burner cooktop, a sink. I would say that there's really not a lot of counter space. I'd do a flip-up table here or something that swivels out over there. But lots of room to pass, folks, family members, dogs in the aisle. Okay, so over here under this bench seat was where the original power system was, and it basically consisted of one Renogy lithium battery and one charge controller that was for an auxiliary, suitcase solar port on the side of the van. So there's basically hardly any off-grid capabilities. The appliances, the main appliances, do run on propane. So if you have propane, you could operate your fridge and your heater, but you couldn't run your AC. And this is a replacement AC. This is a Velit 12-volt air conditioner. But the Dometic Penguin that was up here was obviously a 120 and only usable if you were connected to shore power. And then if your battery was charged before you got to where you were going and you weren't connected to shore power, then you basically have 200 amp hours at 12 volts to run, a rooftop fan, your water pump, your lights. Obviously your cooktop can run on propane, which is great. But after that, you were SOL and you better find some place to charge up. But now the client has 600 amp hours of Epoch lithium iron phosphate batteries. There is a 2000 VA volt amp multi-plus, which is connected to the shore power and then to the stock breaker box. There is a full distribution center with fusing for all of the components, including the air conditioner. There's 600 watts of solar on the roof. Our solar wires are coming in over where the microwave was and down through and then behind all of this stuff. And then, the 12-volt air conditioner which was a replacement. Now, if you are familiar with this Sol Rover, you may be recognizing some components and some new ones. I added this BMV Victron battery monitor. I added a Dometic thermostat, which will run the heater, because previously the heater and the Dometic Penguin air conditioner were operating together with a Dometic controller over here, which is now just inoperable. So when I removed the air conditioner and replaced it with this 12-volt unit, we lost that functionality. And so I had to rewire the thermostat wires from here up to there and just made it look nice and stock. Also added our multi-plus multi-control. This turns on our inverter charger. It also gives you the option of adjusting the input current. Now, one thing that really saved me and made this installation really clean was the hidden space in this wall. So remember, I showed you in the bathroom, there was the mixer for the shower. There was a light switch, and I started tapping around and realized that this was pretty hollow in here. And I measured from the wall inside to what was going on over here and said, hey, there's about 6 inches of space in there. What's going on? So I pulled the microwave out to see what was going on. And I decided to cut 2 holes, kind of just, shooting in the wind, and use these holes to run my air conditioning wires, my solar wires, also to fish wires from down here that go behind this drawer through another hole in the wall, up through here, and then into this cavity, which is completely open. It's just full of wires for our head unit, for our command control, and now for our BMV, for the stock breaker and fuse panel, our on-off switch, our thermostat. I was able to wire in this little Sirocco fan, which was something the client wanted me to add. I also put one back there, which is a great addition. If you don't have one in your rig, you really need one now. I'm telling you, they're very low power consumption. They add a little bit of ambient noise, white noise at night. Plus they keep you cool. There's 4 speeds on this. It's really, really great. So yes, once I figured out how to run my wires and make it really clean behind all of this and pop in down here, then it was a matter of getting all of my components down here to look really clean. I had to go with a side mount for the Multi-Plus. I had to cut some plywood and attach it to some of the framing of the bench. Now, typical manufactured travel trailer construction, just plywood, but I was able to attach some, mounting surfaces for our distribution center. This is a modified Lynx power in, and I use these a lot because I find on these smaller, simple 12-volt systems, a lot of the components that I use either don't work with a 60 amp mega fuse. They're usually lower, so I use these inline fuses. Or, something like this 120 amp MPPT by Victron has a fuse in it already, an output fuse. So I find them, really customizable, and yeah, use them a lot. Main on-off switch here. You can see our battery connections wired in parallel, 2-aught cable. We have our input and output for our inverter charger. Now back behind all of this stuff is where the MPPTs are. We have our main one for the 600 watts of solar on the roof. That's a 100/50, and then we have this smaller one for the suitcase solar, if the client wants to plug that in. And they're really tucked away behind there, but I had to use that space because I was basically out of room out here. Over here we have an 80 amp breaker switch for our Velit air conditioner, so that if that thing ever gets fritzy, which I've had 1 or 2 out of the maybe 10 or 15 that I've installed do that, they can turn it on and off there. Double pole breaker for the solar, and yeah, really turned out really nice. The one thing is it's pretty airtight in here. I am a little concerned that it might get really hot in there if the Multi-Plus is really chugging. I could add a fan, and I may add a fan to exhaust outside there. I have about a day until the client picks up, but other than that, I'm pretty much done, and I'm excited with how this turned out. So let's pop outside and take a look at the solar, and I'll show you what I did there. So here we are on the roof of this Sol Rover travel trailer. And up front we have 2 150 watt Lensun flexible solar panels. These 2 are wired in series, and they are parallel with 2 panels in the back there. You can see one is oriented in a different direction to make it fit. But I needed to do that because 3 panels at 150 volts would have been pretty high current, all wired in parallel running through 10 gauge wire. So I got 4 to fit, which works out great. Installed our Velit AC unit where the Dometic Penguin was. Saved a lot of weight, saved some space as well. I believe it might have been an inch shorter too. But I really liked how this turned out. I mount these flexible solar panels with 3M dual lock. It's a very strong Velcro. It gives it a little air gap underneath, because sometimes these flexible panels can get really hot and even make burn marks on your roof. It also gives you the option of pulling these panels up if you need to wash the roof, if you need to replace a panel, versus just VHB tape, which is a lot cheaper for sure, because I spend almost 50 bucks per panel for this Velcro, but I think that it's worth it in the end. Now I have all these wires running through a little scan strut wire entry, which I use on every build. I love these little things. They're easy to install, they're quality, they're very low profile, they don't require adhesive, they're screwed to the roof, they're waterproof, and they have a gasket on the bottom. And then I hold my cables down here with a little bit of Eternabond tape, which is also really strong. Couple, zip ties here or there, but yeah, this is basically it for our roof.